As of today, the case is now with the jury, which means we are on verdict watch in the criminal trial of the family business of former President Donald Trump. We are waiting to see if the jury will find the Trump family business guilty of a 15-year alleged tax fraud scheme. We're on verdict watch for that as of today, because the jury got that as of today. But that is just the start of it. The legal landscape for him right now is starting to look like a scene from a black and white war movie. Even as we now await that jury verdict on his company, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office is reportedly jump-starting its criminal investigation into Trump himself, renewing that office's investigation into Trump's hush money payments to a porn star while he was campaigning for president. Also potentially looking into whether Trump should be charged personally with the kinds of financial crimes that they charged his business with, the crimes for which we're now awaiting the jury verdict. The big news on that front today was actually reported first by the New York Times, since confirmed by the Manhattan DA's office directly. They've brought in a very senior prosecutor from the U.S. Justice Department, apparently to handle these Trump cases. This is a man who was the number 3 official at Main Justice overall. Now he's coming to the New York DA's office. Perhaps more importantly, though, in terms of understanding the import of him moving to the New York DA's office, you should know that before his DOJ job, he was very intensely involved in the investigations of Trump in New York. This is a prosecutor who led the investigation that caused the shutdown of Trump's fake charitable foundation. He also led the investigation that resulted in a $250 million lawsuit being filed against Trump and his kids and his business by the New York Attorney General several months ago. Now the Manhattan DA's office has brought that same prosecutor on as senior counsel, presumably to work on some of the things that they're pursuing Trump on right now. But oh, wait, there's more. It slices, it dices, and it juliennes. We are also awaiting word right now on whether the January 6th investigation in Congress will make criminal referrals to the Justice Department as it wraps up its work this month. A subgroup of the January 6th investigation met on Friday to make a recommendation to the overall investigation about potential criminal referrals. We don't know what happened at that meeting. We don't know what their recommendation is going to be. We don't know the outcome of that process yet, but we know we'll find out their decision before the end of this month when the committee wraps up its work. In the existing Justice Department January 6th criminal investigation, Trump's White House counsel and his deputy White House counsel just were forced to testify to the federal grand jury at the end of last week. Meanwhile, the other DOJ investigation of Trump, the Mar-a-Lago classified documents case, that one just pulled onto a straightaway and put the accelerator down. You may remember after federal agents seized documents from Mar-a-Lago, from Trump's weird gold beach house where other people can pay to visit, Trump's lawyers persuaded a fresh out-of-the-box Trump-appointed judge to install a special master to go through the documents that the government seized instead of prosecutors just being allowed to see them. It was basically a gambit to slow down the criminal investigation, but now a federal appeals court has put the kibosh on that special master process, which should speed up the ultimate resolution of the Mar-a-Lago case. Whether that ultimately means criminal charges will be filed or not, we are going to get to that end sooner than we were previously going to get there. Then there's Georgia. Trump's White House chief of staff has now been ordered to testify in the criminal investigation in Fulton County, Georgia, into whether Trump interfered criminally with the 2020 election in that state. And Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, had to appear at disbarment proceedings today in Washington over the frivolous lawsuits he filed trying to overturn the 2020 election on Trump's behalf. All of that is happening right this second, right now. And so, I mean, maybe it's a sort of natural occurrence. If that was the legal outlook that you had right now, you too might yourself demand the termination of the Constitution if you were facing all of those different forms of legal liability under the Constitution.